Hi guys, it's Xenia. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 perfumes that I'm going to be wearing this winter season. I love the winter time because I can finally wear perfumes that I can't really wear when it's like over 100 degrees outside. And not to say that we ever actually get winter in Florida, because we don't, let's be real. It just goes from like 100 degrees to 60 maybe, but right now it is getting cooler out and I'm loving it. The air is so much crisper. I'm not like drowning in sweat by the time I step foot outside of my door, so I can finally reach for some of my heavier perfumes. Although I'm not gonna lie, I wear heavy perfumes all year round. I wear whatever whenever I want, but if we're talking specific season and those of you that are lucky enough to actually experience winter, I think these are going to be really great for any holiday parties you have to attend, to day-to-day life, to some amazing cozy fragrances that you can wear in while you're watching your cozy holiday movies or just movies in general. These are some of the best, sexiest fragrances. A lot of these are just very dark and give off that dark feminine sort of vibe. So if you want to see my top 10 winter recommendation fragrances, then just keep watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn your post notifications on, and let's get started. Starting off, this perfume is going to shock some of you that have been actually viewers of my channel for a while. I actually decluttered this perfume, but guess what's back in my collection? This is Poison Girl by Dior. She is fully back and in a bigger size. Sometimes when you do declutters or when you have had a lot of perfumes, your taste can change day to day, and if I based my declutters based off of how often my taste change, I would never declutter perfume, and that would mean my collection would be like over 1,000 perfumes, which I'm just not okay with. I want my collection at this point to just be well under 200, which I know sounds crazy to most people, but as somebody that has had a lot more perfumes than that, it's like okay for me right now. Like I can work with that. But if we get over 200, I kind of start to hyperventilate a little. But this perfume I was missing, and as the weather was kind of starting to get cool, I was just really craving this perfume, which is weird because I was never actually head over heels in love with this in the first place. So I'm like, why am I just all of a sudden craving Poison Girl? I'm not even mad that this is back in my collection because I got such a good deal on it. I love Mercari. I sell my own fragrances on Mercari, but I also have bought fragrances, and the deal that I got on this was absolutely incredible. So this is the full 100 ml bottle, and as you can see, it doesn't have a dent or nothing. It's literally brand new, and the seller had listed this for $40. So I got a 100 ml Poison Girl perfume for 40 bucks when this perfume is probably like 150, I think, in this size, maybe more. I'm not even mad that I decluttered the first one, because I mean, this is way better of a deal. I probably paid more for the smaller size that I had than I paid for this full bottle. This is a yummy scent. It's very sweet, it's really intoxicating, and there's a thickness to it, a denseness, which is why I kind of got rid of it the first time around, because I just wasn't really gravitating to it too much, because it was one of those things where it was kind of like leaning on sickly sweet, and especially when it's super hot outside, that's just not a good mixture. But I can now say I love this fragrance. I don't know, I can't tell you if she's here to stay forever, but this smells so sexy. It is the epitome of like a femme fatale scent. It's dark and mysterious, yet really sweet, sensual, got a lot of depth to it. Apart from those rose notes and maybe a touch of that orange blossom, I think most of the notes that I'm smelling in here, kind of all throughout the scent, are those base notes. It's very thick and creamy, sort of resinous, a bit woody, and very cashmere-like, soft but strong at the same time. And not to forget, this is a very powdery scent, which, if I remember correctly, is another reason why I got rid of this scent. Those are all things that I am now enjoying. So yeah, my taste has shifted yet again. My scent taste is really weird. I really cannot pinpoint myself to just one scent taste. Overall, I think I could say I love sweet scents, but I love all kinds of scents. If it smells good to me, I don't really care what kind of family of fragrances it has. I've liked fragrances that are super floral that I never thought I would like. It's really hard for me to just kind of put myself into a box and say like, oh yeah, these are the only perfumes I like and I don't like anything else, because that would not be true. I'm so excited to be wearing it this season. I think it smells so hot. It's a really hot girl scent. Next up, sorry, I'm like out of breath. I gotta catch my breath because I just ran up the stairs. Next, I have YSL Manifesto. This is another one for my OG subscribers. Let me know if you guys have been watching me since the video that I did where I hauled this for the first time, if you know what happened when I got this perfume, because I very much got scammed with this perfume. I have pretty much just kind of like almost not let myself wear this perfume because I only have it in a little 1 fluid ounce, and I was obsessed with this perfume since the moment that I got it. And because it's only a 1 fluid ounce and it is a discontinued fragrance, I was like, I cannot use that. But as I've been saying in a few of my recent videos, I'm really trying to let go of that mentality of, oh, it's discontinued and so I can't use it, because that's just not a good way to go about things. If you love something and you're purely just letting it sit there and pretty much just expire, I'm here to kind of give you that push to use up that product, whatever that is, because things expire, and just enjoy things while you have them. So not to make this deeper than it needs to be, I am now back to using YSL Manifesto, and I'm really happy too because it's very fitting for this time of year. It's vanilla done in a way that you've never smelled vanilla before. Made a little bit of a dent into this, and I'm just kind of like, oh, the old me wants to be like, oh no, like I'm getting through this, but then the new me is like, no, it's good that you're actually using it and loving it while you have it. This is a spicy vanilla, but I honestly don't even know how to explain this because this is a very rich and unique scent. This has top notes of blackcurrant, bergamot, green notes, middle notes of jasmine, sambac, lily of the valley, and base notes of vanilla, tonka bean, sandalwood, and cedar. I definitely get that blackcurrant in here. It's not necessarily berry-esque, but it kind of just gives a little bit more sweetness, more creaminess to that vanilla along with the tonka bean that's in here. I'm getting that jasmine out of all the florals. That's definitely kind of the dominant floral in my opinion. And then definitely that sandalwood gives it just more of an elevated feel, along with the cedar, which cedar is one of my favorite woodsy kind of notes. I think cedar just smells incredible. This can almost lean a little bit green because it does have those green notes, but I also think it's just beautifully balanced by the sweetness. It's really odd because I feel like when you think green and vanilla, that just doesn't really sound like the most appealing combo ever, but it just works with this scent. I find it so freaking seductive. Another femme fatale scent, but a totally different vibe than Poison Girl. It's definitely not quite as sweet and thick as that one or powdery, but so good nonetheless. So let's move on to something that is still equally as sexy, but not in like a raunchy, seductive kind of way. This is more elegant, classy, sexy, and that is Coco Noir by Chanel. I've never really found myself gravitating to a lot of Chanel fragrances, especially the ones that are in this packaging. Obviously the little brown ones like the Chanel Chance Eau Tendre or the Eau Fresh version, those are just light, fresh fragrances. They're really easy to love, but these ones are a little bit harder for me to get into, especially some of like the OG Chanels. I just find smell really dated, which is the appeal for a lot of people because Chanel is a really classic brand and they're a timeless brand, but a lot of the fragrances just are not my taste. But then I discovered this one. I actually saw this from a Demi Rolling video, I believe, where she was talking really highly about this, and at first I was like, I would not like that, but I was in Sephora and I actually smelled it and I'm like, wait, that smells incredible. To me, this fragrance is what I wish Coco Mademoiselle was. I think Coco Mademoiselle is another really classy, amazing fragrance, but to me was a bit too mature than what I typically like. Not to say that this one's not mature, because it still is very mature, but there's something a little bit more, I don't know, more playful in here, something that is a little bit less serious. This has top notes of grapefruit, bergamot, and orange, middle notes of rose, geranium, jasmine, narcissus, and peach, and base notes of patchouli, sandalwood, olibanum, tonka bean, vanille, white musk, cloves, and benzoin. It's a very floral scent through and through, very true to Chanel fragrances, and rose, I would say, being dominant of the florals. And then the patchouli. The patchouli's also got a big role in here. This is a really spicy rose, which is what I tend to love when it comes to rose. Just pure sophistication in a bottle. It honestly reminds me of a scent that I would imagine Marilyn Monroe would have worn. It's giving me that vibe. So yeah, I love Coco Noir, and this has a really interesting backstory if you kind of look into it. So check that out and do your own research, but yeah, Love Coco Noir. We're switching up the vibe here completely with Eclaire by Lattafa. This is the most gourmand that I have in this video, but for a winter recommendations video, I had to include just a cozy, warm gourmand scent like this. So creamy and sweet and delicious. It makes you crave pastries when you smell this. This is the type of scent that I gravitate to when I'm just having a cozy day in. This has caramel, milk, and sugar, middle notes of honey, white flowers, and base notes of vanilla, praline, and musk. This is a very creamy lactonic scent. That milk is very much playing a role in here, along with the sugar. Very, very sweet, along with the praline, along with the honey. It's like sweet on top of sweet on top of sweet. For this scent being as sweet as it is and all the sweet notes that are in here, I actually somehow don't find it that sickly sweet. Maybe most people would find it sickly sweet, especially if you're not used to scents that are this level of gourmand, but I don't find it sickly sweet. It's been compared a lot to Bianco Latte, so if you're looking for a dupe, check this one out. It's a fraction of the cost. This next scent was actually almost kicked out of my fragrance collection, and I've been trying to kind of wear it to kind of get myself, not necessarily to force myself to like it, because I don't want to do that. Like, if I don't like a scent, I'm just done with it. But for some reason, I just don't want to give up on the scent quite yet, and I'm kind of glad because I really come around on this scent. This is Princess by Kilian. Now, this is the new reformulation, new packaging for Princess. The OG Princess was in like a little sphere bottle. I'll put it up right here. This is the version that I smelled initially when I fell in love with this scent. But by the time I wanted to go get it, they had taken it off the shelves and it went kind of missing. It got discontinued for about a year, and then they brought it back in this packaging. Now, I was so excited to see that it was back, but I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't exactly how I remembered the OG to be. Still kind of gave me the vibe. So I was like, okay, no, I still love the scent. It's just like, it's not like 100% what I remember. But anyways, still bought it. I just always kind of kept that in the back of my head though. Like, every time I smell this, I'm like, oh, I wish it was stronger. I don't understand why this is so light, and it's not a cheap fragrance. I think this was almost around $200. Recently, I've been really enjoying this. I just included this in a layering combos video that I recently did. So I'll put that video up here if you want to see that. That's a really great combo with the scent and kind of the main way that I've been really loving wearing it. But in the past couple of days, I've actually been wearing this alone, not layering it, and I've been really enjoying it. I don't know if it's because it's getting cooler outside, so it's a little bit more fitting, but I really like it. This is a powdery marshmallow, almost chocolatey smelling scent. This is marshmallow. It has matcha tea and ginger in it, so it's supposed to be basically like a spicy marshmallow scent, which sounds kind of odd. I don't really see matcha and marshmallows going that well together because it's like two completely different vibes. I mean, we got a really green vibe mixed with like sweet sugary candy, so it's kind of an odd mixture, but it does work. It's really inviting, and I see why people say this gets them a ton of compliments because it's a very inviting scent. I'm really enjoying that right now. I don't know what the future holds for me in that perfume, but so far I'm liking it, and I'm thinking I'm gonna hold on to it for a little while longer. We'll see. Next up, another oldie but goodie. I've really just been finding love in my older fragrances that I've kind of neglected because newer ones have come out, so I kind of get excited and I start using those, and I kind of forget about my older loves. I recently brought this out and I'm loving this. This is La Belle by Jean Paul Gaultier. This is such a good fragrance. I don't know why I ever, well, I mean, I do know why I stopped using it. It's just because I kind of got into the hype of new fragrances. I actually have a first impression of me opening this and smelling it on camera, so check that out in my video somewhere. But this is a gorgeous caramelized pear pie kind of fragrance. It kind of falls into the same scent profile as Vanilla 28 from Kayali, but it's got a little bit more to it. It has that pear, which really just amplifies the scent, and it brings something totally different to that vanilla. This has top notes of pear, bergamot, middle notes of floral notes and leather, and base notes of vanilla, vetiver, amber, and musk. I would say the top notes in here that I smell the most are pear, vanilla, and vetiver, which is kind of an odd combo. I mean, the vanilla and pear sound good, but then you throw in that vetiver and you're just like, oh, like green, weird kind of vibe. But no, it totally works. I think that vetiver makes this even sexier. If you're into vanillas but you want something a little bit more than just your basic vanilla scent, check out La Belle. I'm sure most of you already have that in your collections, but in case you don't, check it out. Next, I have Orabella Blooming Fire. Out of all the Orabella scents, this was definitely my favorite. These scents are all very earthy. They just have this really natural kind of vibe to them, and that definitely, I believe, has to do with the fact that these are essential oil based, so it just has that almost aromatherapy kind of vibe to it. But I would say that that is a lot more prominent in the other Orabella scents. I think this is the most regular perfume smelling of the bunch. This one actually reminds me a lot of kind of like a softer version of Alien from Mugler, which, as you all know, I love. This has top notes of bergamot, cardamom, cedar, clove leaf, middle notes of manoi oil, jasmine, and base notes of patchouli. If you're one of those people that found Alien kind of too strong for you, I think this is a really great alternative. But also, if you love Alien, I think you would also love this one. Every time I wear this, I just feel like an earth goddess. And because these have a biophase formula, they have a lot of oil in them. So my favorite way to wear these is when I'm wearing like an open shirt, I spray them all over my décolletage, and you can actually rub it in. Unlike most fragrances where you're not really supposed to rub them, with this one you could rub it in and it actually kind of doubles as like an oil. These fragrances don't have alcohol in them, so they don't dry your skin out, and by rubbing out that oil you just give yourself a beautiful glow. So it's like a perfume and a body oil in one, and because it's got so much oil, the scent lasts forever. Next, this is a really strong one, and honestly probably I would say the most polarizing out of this entire video. This is not gonna be for everybody. This is Dior Addict. With this scent, like I said, you either love it or you really hate it. It's a very odd scent. I've never smelled a scent like this, and I've smelled thousands of perfumes, never came across one like this. With that being said, if you're into unique fragrances, give this a try. This has top notes of blackberry, mandarin leaf, silk tree blossom, middle notes of jasmine, orange blossom, night blooming, cereus, rose, and base notes of vanilla, tonka bean, and mesor sandalwood. This fragrance is kind of like either the sexiest perfume ever for you, or it literally makes you gag. Very polarizing, very mixed reviews, and if you want to kind of stir up some controversy, then check this fragrance out. This is a very dark fragrance. As you can tell by the bottle, it's definitely a mysterious, it honestly very much gives me Mugler vibes. Definitely a scent that I would think Thierry Mugler would put out. This is kind of cinnamony, spicy, white flowers mixed with vanilla. Sort of reminds me of Armani Code, but also completely different from Armani Code. Definitely doesn't have that citrus vibe going on in Armani Code. It's just so hard to describe this scent. Definitely a cold weather scent though, I will say that. Like, this is just way too much for heat. It's almost like headache inducing if it's too hot outside. I brought this with me when I went to my trip to Alaska because it was nice and cool over there, and it did so well. I loved it. It has a bit of a vintage kind of vibe, which is also something that I normally don't love, but I love it in this. I don't know what it is. I just really gravitate to that. I love darker, more weird scents like that, and to me, I feel like I'm not making that sound super appealing. Anyone that loves this out there, let me know in the comments why you love it. What makes you love that scent so much? Because I know that a lot of people kind of swear by Dior Addict, and it's a lot of people's signature scent, and a lot of people say that they get so many compliments and that it's like the sexiest perfume ever. So let me know if you fall into that category and why you love it in the comments down below. A recent new absolute love of mine is Lorev by Once Perfumery. I got this sent to me from Scent Angel, which this video is not sponsored, but I have worked with them in the past. This scent was everything I was looking for when I was trying to kind of dabble into my Givenchy L'Interdit Rouge. I wanted to pick up that scent, but it was kind of too much. Something wasn't really sitting right with me. Then when I discovered this, I was so happy that I never bought L'Interdit Rouge and I didn't just kind of settle for that, because this is exactly what I was looking for. Super sexy. I mean, I feel like I said that for a lot of these scents, but a lot of them just give me really sexy vibes. Now this one though, specifically this one, it's so sexy. This is like a really grapey, almost gives me grape candy. Very tuberose heavy, just like L'Interdit, but different at the same time. This to me is way more wearable than L'Interdit Rouge. Less polarizing. This has top notes of peony, peach, pink pepper, and freesia, middle notes of tuberose, jasmine sambac, and orange blossom, base notes of vetiver and patchouli. It's just a really deep, rich, jasmine berry kind of scent, very grapey as I said. Definitely has this dark purple kind of vibe to it. Such a hot red lipstick kind of a fragrance for like a winter night out, winter holiday parties, whatever. Honestly, honestly, I don't even care about the season with that scent. That is like my new go-to, just like all year round scent, especially for like a date night type of occasion, because I just think it's so hot. If I want to feel hot, I'll pull for this fragrance. And then the last fragrance I have for this video is another very cozy one. Definitely falls into the category of Eclaire, but this is just pure chocolate. It is chocolate in a bottle. This is Choco Musk by Al Rehab. This is also the least expensive fragrance in this entire video. This is under $10, but it smells incredible. This is my designated bedtime scent. I mean, you could wear this not only to bedtime, but I just love it for bedtime because it just makes me feel cozy and warm. This has vanilla, milk chocolate, white musk, spicy notes, cinnamon, amber, sandalwood, myrrh, and rose. I mean, it has a lot of notes, but honestly, it's chocolate and vanilla mixed together. For it being so cheap, I thought this would smell really synthetic and like that cheap synthetic chocolate vanilla scent, but no, it's actually a really rich chocolate vanilla that really I don't think reflects the price point at all. I love this. Super strong as per usual with most air fragrances, so we love that, and a really great layering. So those are all of my winter fragrances. These are the fragrances that I think I'm going to be pulling for the most this winter season. As you can tell, I really love the dark femme fatale kind of vibe when it comes to fragrances, and I think winter is kind of the best time to get away with that vibe, so I'm just loving these right now. Let me know your favorite go-to winter scent in the comments down below. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn your post notifications on, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!